candidate, actually.
Not the write-in.
Well, I know he ain't on the ballot. Maybe in Minnesota, though.
Honestly, that would be iconic.
I'd vote for him.
I feel like that would be legit.
Does he have your vote?
He does.
All right, cool.
He has my vote. He's better than the two we got.
Nas Reed for president.
Nas Reed. Okay, so welcome to this week's episode of I Think I'm Human Too. We are with Savannah. Savannah's in Dallas with us. She's waving at the camera. We have been going to all the Wolves games. Savannah works for the Wolves back home, but you work technically for like only the home games, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay. So Savannah's my cousin. She's just a little guy.
I'm kidding. She's not that bad.
She's not that bad.
She has her days.
So do you. Okay, so we wanted to talk about you're going to your master's to get your master's degree. But I wanted to talk to her about this journey you've had because I feel like it's a big one right now. Because you graduated during COVID year. You graduated high school during COVID year.
Yep.
So you didn't get a graduation.
It's on YouTube if you ever want to watch.
Because that's how families literally had to watch.
No, literally, we were in my living room, and I had my cap and my gown, and I'm just like, oh, wow, that's it.
Wait, you guys didn't go in somewhere like
No.
Andrew did?
No, I was literally, like, sitting in my living room, like, leather chair, and then I had, like, all the family around, I think on my mom's side, and, like, some people are sitting on the stairs because we don't have enough space in our living room, and it's still COVID, so, like, people are wearing masks inside, some aren't, some whatever, and literally, it's your senior picture that you submitted to the school, and then your name is on there for, like, 3 seconds where they're like, Savannah Shea, summa cum laude, or whatever, and then next person. So it's like, oh, your friend's graduating, you take out your phone, you, like, record Snapchat.
3 seconds, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you wanted to go, obviously you went to college.
Yep.
And Savannah's in that weird transition where she had graduated, but she graduated early. So we'll get into this whole storyline, but you graduated a little bit early.
College
Early,
yeah.
Yes. Thank you. You had called us and you were asking around like a ton of people, like, do I go back to get my master's? Because what the hell do I do now? One, I can't find a job. And two, all my friends are still in school. So I feel like I might as well go get my master's. And so that's kind of where we're at. So I want to go over that because I feel like one that is a really big thing that a lot of people probably do go through is like that stage of not knowing what the hell to do once you graduate. And not only that, we're in a different world now where people aren't getting jobs with the degrees that they even have. So it's kind of crazy. Okay, so let's go back to college. You started college.
Yeah. So most people, like, know where they want to go. I had no clue. I just wanted to play volleyball.
Okay.
And it was COVID, obviously, so it's not like you can go to any schools and be like, I want to do an official visit, meet your team. Like, all of my recruiting visits were on the phone with the coach. That's it.
I didn't know that.
So I basically had to decide where I wanted to spend the next 4 years of my life based on a Zoom interview with two of the players who obviously they have to be nice to you.
Yeah.
They can't be like, oh, this place sucks, like, whatever. And then off of phone calls with head coaches. Like, that was all I got. 3 people from the entire school, never stepped foot. So I basically, like, committed to my school in May, knowing that I'd literally have to move there in July. Yeah. And then be like, oh, okay, this is where I'm spending the next 4 years. Like, I didn't step foot on my first college campus until middle of July to go visit it.
As you were moving in?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay, and then you were there for how long?
In that school or on the campus?
On the campus.
I was on the campus for maybe 3 months. Maybe.
And did they made you go home, right?
So
or you chose to go
it was
home?
quarantine. So somebody on the team was, like, next to somebody that had COVID, and then you had to, like, report it. So then it was my roommate was next to somebody else. So then all of us had to quarantine because we were together. It was, like, the tracking of it. So then you could either be in a hotel with, like, your roommate or you can go home. And I was like, I want to go home. Like, I want to see my dog, see my family.
Yeah.
So then my dad drove all the way down to Chicago, picked me up, and that's when I went home. And then being home was like, yeah, I want to come home.
Okay. Yeah, because you went down to Chicago, which is what, 7 hour drive from Minneapolis?
Like 6.5, yeah.
Yeah. So you went down to Chicago and you didn't love it?
Didn't love it. Didn't love, like, all of the people. Like, some of them I still talk to. Shout out if you're listening.
Do you feel like you didn't like it because it was away from home and you found out you were low-key a homebody? Or do you feel like it was just the school itself?
I feel like it was both.
Both.
Like, I liked being away because I always knew that I wanted to go somewhere.
Yeah.
But then it was like, once you come home, there's a different sense of like, this is home.
Yeah.
Like, there was a turn, you know, like Maplewood, you turn from like Sam's Club and Costco to over by Vadnais Heights.
Yeah.
Like, that one area, it's never had any like meaning to me at all. And we passed it and I was like, yeah, this is where I want to be.
Yeah.
And I remember saying that to my dad and he was like, well, you can always come home. And then I started applying to different schools and then I graduated.
Okay, so you finished your first year with the Chicago school, but you went online, right?
Yeah, so I was there for 3 months. Then we got quarantined the first time. Then I came back and literally 2 days later, they had gone to a Halloween party like my roommates had. But then they picked me up from the airport. So then I was like connected to them. So then they had to quarantine again. And I was like, I'm not doing this again. So that's when I decided I was going to move home. I'm pretty sure I ended up like either moving out Christmas break or Thanksgiving break.
Okay.
Which I probably should have told more people that I was moving out. My bad.
You just left. You're like, bye.
I literally like packed up all my stuff and then like texted my roommate and I was like, hey, by the way,
They
like,
found out on
I
Snap
took all my
2 months later when they're like, wait, this bitch never came back.
No, literally though. But I mean, I think she like pushed the beds together, so like, you're welcome.
Oh,
for
you never
giving
told
me
your
that.
roommate.
Yeah, my bad. Whoopsies. Am I still an icon?
Yeah, honestly. Now you're pushing the beds together.
I don't know. Like, I miss some of the people. Like, I still talk to a couple of them. Like, we're talking about the Wolves right now. And I just was asking one of them. He just started a corporate job. So I was like, oh, fun. So I think I still talk to like 3 or 4, but
Okay.
not a ton.
Okay, so then you transferred schools.
Yep.
So you only went to Chicago school for a year.
Yep. And half of it was from online in my bed. Yeah.
Okay, so then you went to...
Concordia, St. Paul.
That's actually where Raphael went to.
Oh, yeah.
Go Bears.
I went strictly because of him.
Yes. He's actually he's in the library.
In the basement. In the basement. Let's put that out there.
Raphael tells everybody, I have a photo up there of me on the wall.
I've never seen it, so
Don't
it's still
tell
yet
him that
to be
because
confirmed.
He'll figure out how to get into that school and walk you straight to it.
Oh my God. You need to go pick up a textbook? All right, let's go.
Right, I'll take you.
Honestly?
How have you been liking Concordia? Because
I love it.
You went to Concordia and then you're living at home now.
Yep. So I commute. But yeah. What? It's like,
I commute.
have you seen the emoji with the sparkles where it's like,
Yes. Yeah.
I commute?
I commute.
It's honestly not that bad of a
Commute
drive.
is such a weird word.
Well, yeah, like I drive to school. Why does it have to be a commute? I drive to school.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I commute.
Commuter students. They had like little brunches for us some days. I never went to any of them. Yeah.
Because a lot of people probably live on campus, I'm assuming.
Yeah, but then you have like the people like me that live close but don't want to live on campus and spend a fortune.
Yeah.
So
Because it's a private school, isn't it?
I think so. I mean, for the cost that it is, I friggin' hope so.
I think it's a private school.
It's like religious in some way. I had to take 2 theology classes.
Love that for you.
I know. I made a passport. I would say business card and passport.
Huh.
For an apostle.
I love that for you. I
Don't know who
what
it
that
is.
means, but woohoo!
I think there's like
Theology.
12 of them. I don't know.
Okay, so you've liked Concordia.
Yeah, back on track. Yeah.
Squirrel.
No, literally the birds outside.
Not me turning to look. I was like, where?
No, literally they just keep flying. I'm like, hey, besties. Okay. Yeah, I went there and at first I was like, I don't really like it. I don't really know anybody, but obviously I wasn't going to like drop out after the first 2 weeks.
Tell the story about how you were pulling up to school and the homeless person licked your window.
Oh my God. Okay. So Concordia is like literally like right off a freeway. So like you can take different ways to get there. I never wanted to be late. So I took a path past like Allianz Field. And there was literally like,
Allianz Field is St. Paul's soccer field.
Thank you. I am literally like in the middle lane, like not even on the turn lanes where like the people like beg for their money, and got windows up. My music's not even blasting that loud. Like I'm just sitting there chilling, and this lady like comes up to my window and she's like shaking her bag, and I'm like, hee hee hi, like hey, and then she literally like I'm like sorry I don't have anything, and she's like looking around my car like pointing. I'm like. I don't got nothing. Sorry. And then I was like, bye. And she licked my window. Like in my little Ford Escape, she said, I was like,
did you go get a car wash after that?
well, I had to go to class first. And then I did. I called my dad. I was like, is the car wash coupon on the fridge, bro?
Is the car wash coupon in the
It
fridge?
was. All was well. I did not roll my window down.
That is the funniest thing to me.
I don't think anybody gave her money, though, because they saw her lick my nasty-ass car window.
St. Paul for you. Okay, so you're at Concordia. You finished your undergrad.
Yeah.
And what did you get it in?
Sport communications.
During your, and it wasn't 4 years that you finished. You finished in 3?
Yeah. Between the transfer and 2 years at Concordia.
Okay. So she finished in 3 years. Everyone else pretty much had a year to go still. And you finished with sports communications. What were you doing in your personal life for work at that time?
Oh, God.
Like, what did that look like while you were in school and working?
So, volleyball coach.
She's a hustler, by the way.
I learned from the best of the best mofos.
And this bitch will not spend a penny.
I mean, I will,
she'll literally have $1 billion sitting in her bank account. She'll be like, so you're not buying this for me?
Okay, but tuition is expensive, so
Amen.
I don't know. Whatever. Okay, volleyball coach, server. I don't remember what else I was doing at the time. I think when I was in summer classes at one point, because I had to take one, otherwise they would have put me into 4th year.
You did some internships.
I worked at the Vikings for training camp. That was like my foot in the door to sports. And then I was working, like, I'd go to Jersey Mike's from like 9 until 3, and then I'd go to Applebee's from like 3:30 until 12. And
On
then,
days you didn't have school.
yeah, well, with summer classes.
Oh, shit.
Because that was the summer that Sue died. So that was what, 22?
Sue is her aunt on her dad's side.
I forget that I have to explain that. I'm like, yeah. But I remember, like, I was supposed to go into both jobs that day, but I still had school. I was in like a math class. But I don't know. Those, I think that's all I had. 4.
I think. Okay,
A lot of them are winter,
how was
so.
your foot in the door with the Wolves, the Timberwolves? Timberwolves are our basketball team in Minnesota.
Wolves
Well,
and 7.
some people listening are probably like, wait, who, what?
Okay, so training camp, that internship, we had to do one for school, like to graduate
you were in
from
the
your
sports
undergrad.
program.
Like any business, I'm pretty sure you have to do it. I know for sport management, probably kinesiology too, but you have to take an internship class.
Okay.
So like a certain amount of hours is a certain amount of credits, but you have to get like 4 credits. So I was like, okay, I need an internship. What can I do? So I literally started Googling internships in sports. Training camp popped up. I applied. I got it because of my various customer service roles in the food industry.
Is that what they told you?
I'm assuming. Like literally my job there was to stand on the turf and run some kids games. And then every once in a while you got to do like, you know, autographs, or you got to go on the field and like bring this high five line out. Like it was a great place to start.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like you're an intern. Like
Yeah.
you're doing the grunt work, which I recommend it for people that are like getting their foot in the door, because I think it really helped me get like my other job.
Okay, and how did you get in with that one?
With the Wolves.
Yeah.
So with the Wolves, again, I literally just Googled jobs in sports. And then it was right timing, I guess. I applied for like a group events assistant. Because at the time, I didn't know that like you couldn't just apply to like manager jobs.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh. You can just push her on back. Oh. Bill said, I'm in the room with you.
Okay.
Gotta help her out.
What
He said, timber.
I broke it. Ooh. I'm wonderful. Okay. Yeah, I Googled it, and then I was like, all right, like, ooh, a cardinal just flew by.
I'm telling you, he's out here every day. Not me saying, hey, Bill.
No, literally in that cardinal. Okay, I Googled, and then I applied for it. Oh, yeah, the manager positions. That's what we were talking about.
I didn't
like,
know you couldn't do that.
Like, as a 20-year-old, you have no experience in anything.
Yeah, that's true.
And then I'm like, yeah, I'm going to apply to be a manager, which is like 3rd tier up.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, yeah, maybe not. But I applied for this position.
Confidence is key, baby.
It did not help me whatsoever.
Fake it
so
till you make it, man.
maybe as like an assistant, maybe a coordinator, but definitely not a manager. So it says squirrel or the muskrat?
I have no idea.
No, literally squirrel. Okay, so then applied for this job, and then it's like different parts that you have to go through. So the first round of interviews is like you're online, they ask you questions, and then you have to like record your answer back, but you only have a specific amount of time to do it. So I'd be like, what's your biggest strength? And it would be a video of me asking you, but then you have 2 takes and 30 seconds to tell them your biggest strength. And it was like, okay, then you had that. Then if they liked you, they'd move you past to like the second round, and it was group interviews. And I'm pretty sure everybody from my group got hired. But I did find out later that my boss didn't even want to hire me.
Really?
And now I'm like,
Was it the he or the she?
He
didn't.
No.
Why?
He was like, oh, she's just too cheery. And I was like, well, whatever. Because he likes me now. So I feel like he really
Not the too cheery. What did he want?
I was just like, I just want everybody to have fun.
Yeah,
I do.
You're doing events.
I was like, I'm in literal fan experiences. So I'd hope everybody has fun. But I don't know. Like, I now lead like half the things. So.
And
I think he likes me.
I was going to say, now you guys are friends.
I mean, I gave him a Justin Jefferson jersey for his birthday because Jack didn't want it.
I love that.
What was I supposed to do with it?
I'm
not going to wear it. I mean, it was never worn.
That's so funny.
So, yeah, now I'm there, and they don't need me for playoffs. So I was volunteering.
So now she's in Dallas.
Well, yeah. Well, I was volunteering, and now I'm getting paid by Target Center to work.
You volunteered that whole time?
Yeah, I did all the hours at like Big Ten.
Shut the fuck up.
No, I swear. Like, I just wanted to be in the building.
Events game?
No, like Wolves, I was getting paid.
Oh,
but then God. Like,
okay, yeah.
Do you remember the 1 week or like the 2 straight weeks that I was there for Big Ten?
Yes,
and I was there.
I remember
from,
you
like,
saying you volunteered
7
for that.
to 10.
Okay,
so volunteered for that, and then I get a phone call like 3 weeks ago, and they're like, "Hey, how would you feel about like coming to work for us?" And I was like, okay, well, what does this entail? Like, what are the hours? Like, I'm in school. I have other jobs. Like, I need to know. They're like, it's literally the same thing that you've been doing, except we want to pay you. And I was like, oh, yeah. What do I need to do?
Sure. What's up?
And then they were like, oh, we'll back pay you. I was like,
oh, so all those hours actually weren't volunteer?
Apparently not. So
that's so nice.
What am I going to buy for myself?
Nothing. She's literally going to buy nothing.
Yeah, no, it's all going towards tuition.
Okay, so you finished early, and then you had a little bit of time between graduating with your BA? BS?
BA. Because it's not science. I'm not smart enough for that. I think it's Bachelor of Arts.
Yeah. And then she's not smart enough for that. Science shout out to the BS kids.
Yeah, science, respect.
Mad respect. Okay, so then you had a couple months and you kept calling us all the time, like, what do I do?
Well, because I was, like, so set on doing one thing. Like, I never, like, thought, oh, I want to do something else. It was always, I want to do social media and sports, nothing else.
What did you think that was going to entail?
Fun. I was like, it's a job that's not actually a job. No offense, because it is a fucking job. But, like, literally, it's a lot more than
It's just a passion that you love, that you thought would be fun.
And it was, like, the thing that's more seen on social media or on like sport social media.
So you want to be like taking the photo or not taking the photos, but getting the photos from the photographers and posting it to the Instagram pages and posting the stories. That's what you were thinking.
Yeah. And then just like being able to like see the player personalities and like,
yeah,
make the fun things that fans get to see, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because like that's the one thing that the fan gets. Like they're not actually going up to the player and being like, hey, like, what's your favorite food? What's your favorite song? Like, I think whoever created the Mini Mike series, I honestly think it was Jordan.
Yeah.
And, like, it's hilarious.
Because
like,
you get to know them on a more personal level.
And it's just, like, the fan then feels more connected. And I was like, this is the stuff I like to see, so why would I not want to do that?
Yeah.
But then I realized if you didn't start in high school, you're screwed. And then in college, if you didn't do it with your like high school athletic department or like do an internship specifically for that, you're already behind. And then it's like the more you thought about it, it was just kind of like, it's not really what I want to do anymore.
Okay. And what were you thinking?
that's why I kept calling you. I was like, fuck, what do I do now, bro?
Okay, so then you decided you're going to go back for your master's. What made you decide that?
Kind of like you said earlier, it was like all my friends still had a year left in school. And it's not like any of them were around here anyways. Like, got some ups, got some down. Like, I don't know. So it was just like, what do I do?
Yeah.
And
were you applying for jobs at this point for like an actual professional?
Yeah, but it was like anything that you could. And it's like, it's a competitive field. Sports are like, it's tough.
It's almost like you have to know somebody.
Well, that, and it's like every specific position basically already has a person that they want for that role.
Yeah.
From internal or external, but like they all talk to one another. So say like I work for the Twins and you work for, I don't know, like the Lakers. If we went to the same school, like we know each other, I could be like, hey, I have this really good person that would be great for this role that you just posted.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a small world. They always say networking is a huge thing. I never really believed it until I actually started seeing it firsthand.
Yeah. Networking is all who you know, though. So that's what's crazy about it.
It's not what you know. So why did I go back to school? I don't know. But it's fine because it's not that bad.
Drink Element has a code for Human 2 listeners, which you guys know how much we love them. We just had our friends over the other night, and one of our friends plays in the NBA. He even loves them and drinks them. He asked for 2, which we thought was like absolutely mind-blowing that he put 2 in one drink, but that's how much he uses them, loves them, and swears by them. So if the NBA player says it, I mean, you got to believe it. Human 2 listeners are getting a code, so you can go to lmnt.com/human2, and this is going to get you a sample pack when you make a drink mix purchase. So again, that is drinkelement.com/human2.
Only $15,000. So that back pay is going to be real nice for this.
Your job better be fat checks when you get a real one. Or like a big girl job. Whatever. I guess your job is a big girl job, but you know what I mean.
Making drinks and serving tables. Big girl job.
Hey, a lot of people do it.
I mean,
it makes a lot of money.
Bills, yeah. I just don't want to
money.
ask people what they would like for their appetizer on their 2 for $25 anymore. Sorry. It's like a 2 for $26. Because
after tax.
Oh, no, that's the main thing. It used to be, when I first started, 2 for $20. Then 2 for $22, which rolled off the tongue real nice. Then it was 2 for $25, and now I think it's 2 for $26. And I've been there for only 2 years. But we still have half price appetizers and dollaritas.
That's crazy, actually.
What's the date today? Go get your dollaritas. They end on June 1st. I don't think this will be up by then, though, so sorry.
I'm dead. Okay, so you're back in your master's program now, and you are doing an accelerated master's, right?
So it's a 2-year program. It's all online, so I don't have to go on campus for anything other than to like buy a textbook. And yes, I am one of the people to actually buy the textbook. If I'm paying $100 for it, I'm reading it.
Hey, preach. When I was in college for my little stint, I did not buy that shit.
Neither did Jack. Jack is my brother.
In case you didn't know.
Yeah, he went to St. Cloud, didn't buy a single textbook. Whatever.
He just breezed on by.
I just remember it was COVID for him too, so he's sitting in the little
Really?
basement. Yeah, he graduated. Well, he had college in 5 years.
Oh,
so
that's
he graduated the one afterwards. So like, he was still on campus for some of it. I don't know. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Okay, so
oh yeah, all online program, 2-year program, and I didn't realize that when I signed up for it, it was classes through the summer. So I'm like in school right now
for 2 full years,
like a year and like 3/4, because I had the summer off last summer.
Well, normally in college terms, 2 years is 4 semesters, but they have like the summer off.
So this is 4 semesters then, because it's
and
like fall, spring, summer. Oh wait, it's 5. I only had to take 1 math class.
Fun fact.
Well, 1, 2, yeah, 5.
Yeah. Okay, so what's your big plan after this? What's your goals in life? Tell me everything.
Silence is loud, yeah. I don't know. It's like...
What's your goal with your degree now? Because what's your master's in?
Sport management.
Okay, is that a little different?
Yeah, so like... I just didn't want to do sport management because it was basic.
What's sport management?
Different. It's It's basically just like a broader understanding of sports. You get like the business side, you get like the social side, you get the media side, like finance, facilities.
Oh, that's kind of nice because that can transition into more than just sports.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what, get the broad understanding of it. That's like why I decided to go. Plus the fact that no one else was done and I didn't have a job. Mm-hmm. So I don't really know what my goal is with it, but now it's like at the awkward stage, like all my friends just graduated.
And now you have another
And
year
now,
left.
like, I'm still in school and it's like, what do you want to do tonight? I'm like, this paper.
Right.
But I don't know. Like, I feel like it'll definitely like pay off in the end. It's like,
100%.
do I 100% like recommend it to other people? Maybe not. Like, save your money, see if you need it. But like, if you don't know what you want to do, just go back to school.
I also think you made a good point a while back is that you were so young to be like you had already graduated. What were you, 21? Not even?
Yeah.
Or maybe just turned 21? Yeah, you just turned 21 when you graduated college.
Yeah, because I'm 22 in February.
And then she was like, I'm applying with all these 26, 27, 30-year-olds. Like, she was just you were basically a child coming in.
And
just
then
a
baby.
And then when you think about the people that are in these positions, they're probably in their late 20s, early 30s with families, kids, like, and they're probably like, what's this 21-year-old intern doing here? And you're like, no, I have like the credentials. Like, I promise I'm supposed
to be here.
Yeah.
Please don't kick me out.
So it was a point that Savannah had made where she was just like, I'm just so young and I'm going up against people who have been, whether they were either going for their master's or they were in another role, maybe with like, say for example, like the Lynx or the St. Paul Saints, like they were already in a role somewhere getting experience and she wasn't at that level. You didn't really have any experience doing that.
No, I literally only had the two, and I remember like I had talked to you and Wash, and it was literally just like, what do you think?
Everyone calls Raphael Wash, by the way.
Nobody calls him Fiki other than her and Aaron.
Well, nobody even really calls him Raphael other than followers. And me.
And you.
And me. Everyone calls him Wash. I'm like, can we get rid of that?
I love it. That's how you introduce. Well, actually, that's not the first thing you introduce.
Raphael, this is so side note. Raphael was in football his whole life, like, or not his whole life, but Raphael played football and our last name's Washington. So he went by Wash. Like, even his family calls him Wash. It's just very weird to me because he's like a grown adult and he's getting called by like his football nickname. I'm like,
it sticks.
But like, I get it. It's like, oh, Wash, like whatever. But I'm like, Raphael is like, I'm Raphael. Like, when are we gonna let this go?
He's Wash. Well, another side note, what was the first name?
Boo.
Oh, yeah.
So when Raphael and I met years and years and years ago, I put him in my phone as Boo because so many of like my friends and family at the time, because I was with a really bad ex-boyfriend right before I met Raphael. We were actually split up for like a month. This is like random. I feel like if you follow me, you know the story. But there was a stint of time where my ex and I had broken up for a month, and that's the month that I met Raphael. But I couldn't put him in my phone as Raphael Washington because then people would be able to find him right away. So I put him in as Boo because I was like, I didn't want them to like start to know. And I kind of had inkling that like my ex and I were going to get back together. So I didn't want people to like know about this new guy and know everything about him. Anyways, so I put him in my phone as Boo. And then I started calling him Wash because that was kind of like all I knew him at the time. I didn't even know his name was Raphael, actually. He introduced himself as Wash because this is like so long ago that he was still with his football bros. And that was what his name was. But so that's what my family knows him as, and that's what they call him. And I'm like, it's just so funny to me. They'll be like, Wash? I'm like, oh my God, can we let it go?
No, we're never letting that go.
Even my mom.
It doesn't even feel right, like being like, Raphael.
You sometimes will say it.
Yeah, but Wash just sounds like normal and natural.
Yeah.
I'm like, Wash, come here. Like, I'm pretty sure the first time I'd ever called him Raphael was maid of honor speech.
Probably true.
Like, ever. I'm like, Catherine and Raphael? No. Cat and Wash? Yep.
Valid.
It just works.
Okay, so I guess we'll full circle around. Savannah is my cousin on my stepmom's side.
We're not related by any blood.
There's no blood. But I was in the family before you were even born.
But yeah, you are older than me.
But like, meaning like, because it wasn't like my dad got married to my stepmom after you were already born. Like, I've literally been around since, so it was just me, your brother Jack. Jack's the oldest technically on that blood side.
Yeah.
But my brother and I, my older brother and I were the oldest, and then it was Jack and then the remainder of the group. And I know people are going to ask, your parents are the ones that we've kept in contact with, and then Jack and Savannah obviously are my cousins, and it's just always been completely normal. But your guys' family was always the family that was like, so her dad Jeff,
shout out Jeffy baby,
shout out to Jeff,
I know he's gonna listen. Wolves in 7
Jeff and Bill, my dad, were like the kind of guys that like never cared like who you were, what you came from, what you wore. Like, they literally would not care what color, anything. Like, they were just always very loving and inclusive, and that was something that Jeff has always made extremely even since like a child. Like, he was always just like, since I was a child, always very excited to see us and inclusive. And I remember Jeff would some summers take my older brother and I on dates without any other kids, because he wanted us to feel like we weren't the step parent kids. Like, we were, you know what I mean?
Like the step kids.
Like the step kids. Yeah. Thank you. So, and that's just always kind of remained. And then Jeff was actually the one that married us. And then Raphael and I, because we just hold him in very high regard. And then when my dad passed, Jeff was like, if you ever need anything, I'm Jeffy.
Let me just tell you, I've never heard my dad like speak louder on any phone unless he's talking to Wash.
Everyone's obsessed with Raphael. Obsessed.
But like Jeff more than everyone.
But he's the biggest shit talker too, and it's the funniest
That's where I get it from.
It's so funny. The other day, Raphael was like, Savannah, why are you such a hater? And she's like, I'm not a hater. I'm Jeff's daughter. And then Raphael was like, honestly, that was the most legit, real thing you've ever said in my whole life.
It's just Jeffy. Like so his office, he works from home now. His office is like right above my room. So sometimes I'll literally wake up to him like yelling. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And first thing I do is, well, obviously I take my dog outside. So I open the door, let her go out, pee. And while she's outside, I'll walk upstairs. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? He's like, oh, look, it's Raphael. I'm like, no, like, what the fuck?
They're just two little besties, two little peas in a pod.
No, literally.
It's so annoying. They used to go on dates all the time. Me and my aunt were just there for the plus ones. We were there for the free meal.
Literally facts.
Okay, so let's go back to masters. Okay, so you're getting your masters. You're going to finish up next year. What's some advice for the person that's in that limbo between? I know it's hard because I know you're still like figuring it out. But what's the limbo between graduating and deciding to go back? If you could go back and talk to Savannah when she was in that mindset of like, what do I do next? What would something that you would say to her?
Probably just like go with your gut.
Okay.
Like, I'm not really like a commitment girly.
Okay.
So like 2 years seems like a really long time, but like it's not going to hurt you. More education's not going to hurt you ever. Like financially maybe, but at the same time like it could be worse.
Yeah.
Like just you don't know what you're doing with your life. Why not go back to school while you figure it out? Mm-hmm. Like you have plenty of time. Like I know people like take my brother for example. Love him to death, but like he's not in the same degree field that he was. Like he's in sales right now. He has like a tourism and travel degree and sport management. Like he's not doing anything that he was doing. So it's like, it doesn't really matter what you do, but it'll never hurt you to learn more about different things.
Yeah. So
it's like, go with your gut. Don't think that you're doing anything wrong. Like it's not a competition between you and your friends or you and like your family. Like, is it something that you want to do? I think that's like the biggest thing that I went to.
Making the decision for yourself.
Yeah. And like I would talk to you guys. Like I'm pretty sure you guys were like, don't do it.
Yeah, we said no.
But I was like, I don't know what. Like if I wasn't in school right now, just working all the time? Granted, I'd probably be balling. But like I wouldn't necessarily be happy because I wasn't doing anything that would lead me to like a better future, if that makes sense. Like,
I agree.
I don't know. I don't see myself working as a server or bartender or customer service person for the rest of my life. Like, I know I want to work in sports, probably in events. I really want to do like hospitality, I think. It's between like hospitality, events, and then obviously like something related to like player development, player personnel, like I don't know, something along the lines of those three, but not social media anymore.
Okay. And why we said no, so Rafael and I were talking to her about it, and we had just said, you are a hustler and you're not a commitment kind of girly for the 2 years. So we knew those facts about her, and we were like, what we think is if you don't go back, it is all about who you know. And knowing you were going to find a way in
I talked to
without
everybody.
spending more money. So we knew you would find your way. And that was why we were like, save your money, because I really, really do think 90% of the work field these days is who you know or what work you want to put in to get there.
Yeah.
And you are a very personable person who can talk to anybody. You are your father's daughter there. Like you literally, you don't, again, Savannah would literally talk to a stranger. She'd be like, Wilson 7? Like,
I talked to a lot of people and said that this past few days.
yeah.
So.
Savannah got off the flight in Dallas. She's like, I made so many friends.
I did.
I was
Everybody
like-
was wearing whoops gear, and I literally just walked up to him and I'm like, Naz Reid.
Not you
Nas
shaking their
Reid.
hands.
Well, what else? Hello, Naz Reid. Naz Reid for president. I should be like his campaign manager.
There you go.
Gosh, you ever want to run for president? You let me know, and I'll get Naz's
I'll call
advice.
Naz and let him know. I like to start every single day with journaling because when I feel mentally clear, my day is just so much better. And something that's very important to me is small habits lead to a larger success. And I've shared that with you guys many times, whether it's on my Instagram, on my TikToks, like small little things add up and they matter. They really do matter. Your gut health, your heart health, your skin health, everything that you are doing for your body adds up. I've been taking Seeds DS-01 Daily Symbiotic just again for the gut health, the skin improvements, the heart. There's so many different benefits, your energy levels, all these things again matter and they all coexist. So the more that you can take care of them, the better you will feel in the long run. Seeds does have a code for Human2 listeners. You're going to go to seed.com/human2 and use code 25human2. That's all one word, 25human2 to get 25% off your first month of Seeds. So that was kind of like our advice, but everyone's journey is going to be different and that's okay. I think, like you said, it's very powerful. Knowledge is power and no one can ever take that from you. So might as well go get more. What's it gonna hurt?
Might fuck around and get a doctorate.
Oh, okay.
Just so everyone has to call me Dr. Savannah. Talking to you.
Dr. Savannah to you, missy.
No, literally. Ain't no miss, ain't no misses. It is doctor.
What would you get a doctorate in?
Sport management.
You can do that?
Yeah, but the only thing I would not want to do is a research paper. Those things suck.
Yeah, those things are like 8 years long.
I will say though, like getting a master's, like it has helped you network a little bit more. Like the assignments that they have you do are like more beneficial than undergrad.
But
some of them.
But those are things that you could have gotten into without being in your master's.
Yeah.
You just didn't know how to get your foot in there.
Well, that and like I feel like it's better
Or
to
where
go
to
up
be
to
looking.
a person and be like, hey, like I have this assignment like I could really use your help for, instead of just being like, hey, I'm just a nobody that wants to know a little bit more about sports and I like your role. What do you do?
Yeah.
Like it just gives it more of a purpose.
You wouldn't say, hey, I'm a nobody.
Well,
you would
yeah.
say, hey,
But,
I just
like-
graduated and I'm looking to get into this role.
But like at the same time, that translates to I'm a nobody right now. Like someday,
If you're
and, like,
listening to this and you're in that position without getting your master's, you are not
you're
a nobody.
not a nobody.
Savannah just doesn't have great self-esteem, okay?
And I'm just
She just
daughter.
thinks-
I'm just a hater. So
I'm just a hater.
I don't know. Like
Savannah said, I'm just a nobody.
whatever. But like it makes more sense. Like I talk to different people like within the Thunder organization, within the Hawks. Like I got to talk to more people, and like that's how I met like. There's a lot of Jordans that I know, but like the photographer Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
So like I originally met him like through an assignment through Concordia. Like I would have never just randomly reached out and been like, hey,
Yeah,
like
that's true.
So I don't know. I feel like that's definitely helped with that.
It pushes your boundaries to want to reach out.
Well, and it's never
But you could
something
have
that
been
I
doing
would have
that.
thought of doing. Like I would have been like,
Savannah, I literally have been telling you.
But, like,
because remember you wanted to be an agent for a while?
yeah, I had like
And
the
I was
brief
like,
3
DM
week stint.
agents, like talk to them. And she's like, no. We were at Summer
League.
League, and she was like, oh my God, there's that girl. I was
because
like,
I just know them, and I'm like, I follow you on Instagram. I follow you on Instagram.
I'm like, DM them. She's like, no.
Absolutely not. I'm not going to be like, hey, I see you're at Summer League.
But
you're
what's
dope.
the worst
Tell me
that
about your
they
job.
could say? No?
The no response? I don't know. But it's just like, why would I do that? Like, I can just like
go get my master's and spend another 50 grand.
Fuck it. Why not? Might fuck around and spend 15 more. Who knows? God, please no. Jeff, tell me no. God, I don't know. Like right now I'm doing an assignment and I have to track athletes' Twitters and just see what they post. No one posts on Twitter anymore.
Yeah, no one.
So I'm like, oh wow, the 3 tweets that I got in a week. Thanks. Shout out Trey Young for being one of my athletes.
Not Trey Young, I'm dead.
He posts a lot on Twitter.
Does
Low
he?
key. And Patrick Beverly, because he has a podcast too.
Oh.
So he promotes his podcast on Twitter.
Interesting. So this is funny. I have to share this story before we wrap up. So she obviously works for the Wolves, and you guys have a rule that you can't speak to players or family unless they engage first.
Yes, like players, coaches, media staff, like anybody that's like wearing a credential, and like you obviously know you shouldn't go say hi to them.
Yeah.
Unless
which
they
like
speak
Raphael
to
made
you.
a good point. Like you could be like, hey, look at my mixtape. Like, can you sign that? You know what I mean? Like,
not me personally.
Well,
I
yeah.
don't have a mixtape. I'd just like to throw that out there.
well, like, can you sign my basketball for my dad? You know what I mean? Like, people would probably ask weird shit.
Yeah.
So, like, I get that. But, okay, so my best friend, Anissa, and I, she is a wife of one of the players. And it's so funny because I started going with Anissa to the games, and I would have a family pass on. And Anissa looks at me and she's like, what the fuck is up with your cousin? Like, what is going on? Because she would not say anything to us. We would literally walk past her, and she would just be like, and there was so many times where Raphael and I would be like, hi. And like, she was like focused on something so she wouldn't hear us. So then we were like, really? Like, what the fuck did we do? Like, what happened?
We got beef.
Literally, Anissa was like, do we have beef? Like, what is going on? So I asked her and I was like, what's up? And she's like, I literally, because you guys have family passes on, I can't say anything to you. And I was like, no way. So then Anissa and I started making a joke. Anytime Savannah would talk to us, we'd be like, excuse me? She's talking to us. So it was so funny because now we're in Dallas, and Anissa and Jordan are down here in Dallas because they're playing the Mavericks. And we had them over for dinner the other night, and Savannah was like, Savannah made the joke. She was like, because obviously she's staying with us. She's going to be in the house with both Anissa, the wife, and Jordan, the player. And she goes, am I able to talk to them?
Can somebody give me permission? Like, should I text my boss?
It was so funny. I can't stop laughing about that. Like, we should have just fucked with you and not even spoken to you.
That would have been so mean.
Honestly, we had a very awkward hour anyways.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of talking anyways. It was just everybody eat their food.
Pure
no one say anything.
uncomfortability. Pure uncomfortability.
They're not actually
that story
friends.
will be shared eventually, but not today. Maybe not this season.
Maybe not in the next 2 years.
Yeah, maybe not for a while, but yeah, it's funny. Jordan said that's got a he's got blackmail on me for the rest of my life.
Well, facts, he does.
I was like, perfect.
Let's see when he's got to use it.
Right. All right. Anything else? Do you have any advice to college students out there that might be listening that you want to share anything with? No?
Good luck.
Good fucking luck.
Read your textbook.
Yeah.
You're spending that much money on it. Read your textbook.
I do want to also say, if you are listening and are in the sport world and have any advice, reach out to us because I'm sure she would love to read through it. So thanks for hanging out and being on. This was easy, right?
Remember Naz Reid for president? And it's Wolves in 7 always. If I could drop it.
She's been saying that, and people on my socials
Oh,
are
no,
like...
hold on. Time out, actually. We're driving, and I see people with Mavs gear in Dallas.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can I roll down my window and say Wolves in 7? And she's like, no. We're not doing that. I'm like, why? Why, Catherine?
Well, because we were down 2-0, and then we were down 3-0. And I just didn't want us to get swept, and we didn't get swept.
We're sticking with the game plan.
Savannah is the Minnesota believer of support all
I thought I was
teams.
wearing a Wolves shirt, but I'm not today.
Not me looking down to see what I'm wearing.
Definitely not a Wolves shirt.
Yeah, I don't know why I would ever thought that I was in a Wolves gear, but Savannah really believes Wolves in 7, and then you think that they're taking on Boston.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Should we go to Boston and go to the games?
Fuck it, I'll go.
I'll go.
Applebee's, this is my,
This is my 2-week notice.
well,
I will be traveling.
yeah, 2-week notice is
Or
that
my
I'm
PTO
traveling.
notice, sorry.
Do you think I get PTO at Trapplebee's? No, ma'am.
We'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Bye.